feel like I'm stepping up to the Olympics podium every time that's on. So, hello again, everyone, to our closing keynote of We Europe. And we're very excited to have Dr. Renée Moore here with us this afternoon. She's going to be presenting on Business as a Boys Club, Getting to the Top in High Heels, which you may note is a change in the title. Renee has been with us throughout the week, and after hearing some of our presentations, she has adapted to what she feels would be a great topic for our audience. So, just a little bit more about Renee. Born in Texas, Dr. Renée Moore holds a doctorate degree in neuroscience and created and sold her own pharmaceutical development companies in Europe, Asia, and Latin America by the age of 40, all while living in Germany. The Huffington Post named her as a new global leader, and she has served on the executive team of hundreds of growing international businesses. She has been named as Germany's leading motivational expert in 2017 by RLT, and the new global leader by Huffington Post. She is a successful international keynote speaker, has spoken in many countries throughout the world over the last 15 years, including our conference in Pune, India a couple months ago, and has shared the big stage with legendary Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Nick Vujicic, and many more. So we're going to kick it off by watching a video first.
I guess I've always been a fighter. Even as a child, we had to fight. We had tornadoes on the ranch. We had flood water that came into the house that was really scary. We even had to fight to find enough to eat at times. So yeah, I guess I've always been a fighter. I made a decision really early, though, that I wanted something different than what destiny had given me. I didn't want to be poor all my life. I didn't want to be stuck in the story of what life had dealt me. So I realized pretty quickly that I was really good at school. And even in the 6th grade, I realized I had to get scholarships to go to college because we just didn't have enough money. But I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to study before school started so that I could make the top grades on the test. You want to know why neuroscience? Yeah, well, it was absolutely the hardest thing I could think to study. Understanding the brain in the 1990s was really a difficult subject, and I was actually one of the few females at my university studying neuroscience. So where did that all take me? Yeah, well, I went to work in corporate America, and I soon worked my way up as the deal closer, helping the sales team close deals of multi-million-Euro projects. I became bored working in corporate America, and I realized that there was something I could do for myself. That was really kind of crazy. I got this idea to start an emerging market pharmaceutical research company. Well, I guess it was crazy because I was an American woman living in Germany, and I didn't even speak the language. And I decided to start my first GmbH in Germany when I was age 34. That wasn't enough for me because, like I said, I've always been a fighter, and I guess I'm addicted to success. So then I opened my next company in India, and at this time I was a 3-person company. Yeah, 3 people. Me, myself, and I. Sometimes I counted the cat. So is that 4? I opened the next company in India, and then the next company in Argentina. After that, a company in Switzerland, a company in Chile, Panama, Mexico, all over the world. I ended up starting 10 companies in 9 different countries, and I had 53 amazing employees. It was just great. And I did all that in a 5-year period of time. It was hugely successful. I was running about 700,000 euros profit. So naturally, it became a target of acquisition. Well, at the time that I sold it, it was valued at 3 million euros. I was only 40, so yeah, you're right. I was too young to retire. That's why I started my current company, Business Beyond Borders, is to help other people who are fighters. That That's why I do what I do every day. I have the formula for starting and growing successful companies in record time. And it's my responsibility to share it. I like to help other people lift off out of the space that they're in and really learn to fly.
And now let's welcome to the stage the unstoppable Dr. Renée Moore.
Thank you very much. I'm just a girl who thought she could, so she did. Yeah, I'm incredibly excited to be here. Rebecca, Peter, Swee, thanks so much for having me here because my heart hangs with the challenges that you guys have. I'm just a neuroscientist that was working in a male-dominated field, and I stepped out into my zone of genius and created something amazing. And I've been here with you guys. Normally, I'm booked around the world to do keynote speeches, and I fly in the night before, and I stand on the stage, and I deliver my keynote speech. But I've been with you guys for the last couple of days, and I've enjoyed meeting you, and I've enjoyed hearing exactly what your challenges are. And I decided to, as it was just said, that I decided to change the title of my keynote and work in some of the concepts that I keep hearing over and over again in this event. So there was a lot that happened on the road between here and here. One of these pictures is a picture of me on our ranch in Texas when I was 3 years old on my donkey Ruth. And I hope that you can tell which one's me and which one's the donkey. And Ruth was not only my first mode of transportation when I was 3, she was also my first business deal. I learned about business really early. I decided that I wanted to own this donkey. So I went to my grandfather and I said, "Look, Grandpa, I want to buy the donkey from you." And he said, "Okay, for 25 cents, the donkey's yours." So for 25 cents, the donkey was mine. Every day, my grandfather had to feed the donkey and, of course, buy the donkey food. And when my donkey was sick, my grandfather had to take the donkey to the veterinarian and pay for it. But the donkey was mine. 2 years later, when I was 5 years old, the donkey died. And I went back to my grandfather and I said, "Look, Grandpa, you sold me a defective donkey. I want my money back." And I guess he thought that that was really cute because he gave me 50 cents back. You do the math. At age 5, I made 100% profit on a dead donkey. And I thought business would be that way ever since. Some of it has, and some of it hasn't, obviously. There's a lot that happens on the road to success. Today I have my 11th successful company called Business Beyond Borders, and I have the wonderful opportunity to help people around the world, men and women, to step into their zone of genius and create something amazing. But you know what? It wasn't always successful. Along the road, there were a lot of failures. So why don't I just tell you about a couple of those? In the first semester of my PhD work, I decided to get married and divorced. Wasn't it big enough of a distraction to get married? Nope. I had to really mess it up and get a divorce too. Then I wrote a grant for a postdoctoral research study that had me studying sleep research, and it was one of the top paying postdocs in the United States. And my grant that I wrote had me doing sleep research, which meant when I went into the laboratory in the morning, my animals were phase shifted in the night phase. So me, not at all introverted, a little bit extroverted, would show up in the laboratory to put night vision goggles on and work all day long in the dark. Huge disaster. 6 months later, I quit my postdoc. And then the entire scientific community went, "Oh my God, Renee, you have so much potential, but now you will never, ever get a job in academia because you quit your postdoc." And you know what? They were right. I never did get a job in academia, but I went on to create something that was even more beautiful in my life. And today I want to tell you how I did that. And I hear a lot of people talking about what you should do and what you should do and what you should do as an engineer to get to the top. But today I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to share with you my top strategies, and I get to be your mentor for the next hour. I'm really excited about that. I also have 3 presents for you. Number 1, they're sitting in your chair. Number 1 is this button that says, I am unstoppable with Renée Moore. It's a magnetic button. It won't ruin your clothes. And you can put it on anytime you need to feel empowered. The second thing I've got is a free ebook from me on how I built this thriving empire. And they're the same strategies that you can use for being a successful leader today. All you have to do, sitting in your chair, is a speaker card. Sorry, it's in German. But this back page, all you have to do if you want to get my ebook is to fill this out with your name, first name, last name, email address, and put it in this bucket. I'm going to send 2 through the crowds, or if you have a business card, you can just put your business card in this bucket. So I'm going to send these through the crowd, and then within the next couple of weeks, my secretary will send you my ebook. The third thing that's in your chair is a piece of blank paper. You might have noticed that, and you think, what is this for? We're going to need that when we do some of the hows together today, so you're going to need that. One other thing, I need your full attention, so if you'll pause looking, you can just let it go through the crowd. You can just let it go through the crowd. Yeah, they can just pass it through, make sure it doesn't get stuck, pass it through, because the people in the back might want the ebook too. Very importantly, I want to hear your voice, and I'm going to show it up here on this stage. If you'll take out your smartphone, and in your browser, not in a Google search, but up top in your browser, if you'll go to this email address, we're going to do some e-voting together. Throughout the presentation, I'm going to ask you some questions about your challenges. I'm going to ask you to share your opinion 3 times throughout my presentation, and you'll do that by going to this web address. If you have an Android phone, please don't do it with a Google search. Do it up top at the browser. When I ask you to share your opinion and your voice, I want you to know that it's completely confidential. No one will know who your opinion came from. No one will know. I won't even know. But I'll be able to forecast the results up here. And I want to start, if everybody is there, because we're going to start right now with a question, that I want to hear what your biggest challenge is. If you go to that address, I want to know, in this room, what is your biggest challenge today? And I know there's lots of other challenges, so I only give you 2 choices to choose from. One is, are you more concerned about how can I, as a woman in a male-dominated field, advance my career? Or are you more concerned about how do I effectively lead my team? Tell me which one of these 2 things, by clicking on it, you're most concerned about. And then I'm going to show the results up here. Is everybody there? Is it on your smartphone? Good. Very good. I've got about 113 inputs so far. Yeah. Okay, everybody ready? This helps me to know how to customize my presentation for you today. Here's the results. Most people in this room are concerned about how to advance their careers as a leader in engineering. And there are a few people that are more concerned about how to lead their team effectively. That means I'm going to spend most of my time talking about how to advance your career. Is that okay? All right, cool. Okay. This is a topic I spend a lot of time on with men and with women, actually, both men and women, is how to go from being an expert at doing this cool stuff like engineering to being an expert leader, to being an expert in my business unit. And the topics that I'm going to cover with you today in the time that we have as your mentor is number one, your mindset and the glass ceiling. Number two, I'm going to talk about how you find your zone of genius. Number three, we're going to talk about your results in taking action. And number four, I'm going to talk about how we act as if. But first, I'm going to start with this topic about your mindset and the glass ceiling. Your mindset determines everything in your life. Your mindset determines how successful you will be. It determines how much money you will make. It even determines how much love you let into your life. You see, only about 10% of what we think, act, do, the way we behave is controlled by the rational part of our mind. Only 10% is controlled by our conscious mind. The other 90% is controlled by your subconscious mind, which is the storehouse of recent memories and experiences, and your unconscious mind, which is the storehouse of long-term memories, both good and bad. And your mindset works like this. It takes all of the data coming in from the outside world, and it uses this program called mindsets to make decisions about your behavior. And the program working in your subconscious mind goes like this. If it worked in the past and you survived, then we're going to use the same decision-making behaviors and process to make decisions today, even if they're not good for you. Now, that type of reactionary decision-making, which comes from a very primitive part of our brain, might have worked well in this jungle, where you had to think quickly and react and do things based on your survival to avoid this tiger. But this type of reactionary decision-making doesn't help you in this jungle, where you have to advance your career in a male-dominated world. The good news is that there's something that we can do about it. And that's what I'm going to talk about first. We can actually reprogram our mind for success. First, I want to just say a moment about where do these limiting mindsets come from? Where do they come from? How do they get in our subconscious mind? Somewhere between the ages of 4 and 7 years old, we go out into the world and we say, I want to be the president of the United States. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to do this. And someone says, you can't. You can't because you're a girl. You can't because you're poor. You can't because you have 13 toes on your left foot. You can't. And it was at this moment, a part of us shrunk away and started to play small. Playing smaller was safer, because when we go out with these big ideas and someone says you can't, it hurts. And it was very interesting. The opening keynote speaker, Janica, had a wonderful video. Do you remember this video of the firefighter and the surgeon? That's how those mindsets come into your mind. We think, that's a male thing. I can't do that. That's not my thing. That was a perfect example to illustrate this point about stereotyping. And mindsets are different based on the culture that you live in. I have worked around the world, and I can tell you, in America, we don't have a success mindset. We learn that everybody can be the president of the United States. And it looks like that, doesn't it? Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. I'm glad I live in Germany. I think I'll stay there. So the thing is, 99.99999% of the people that I work with around the world have something in their mindset that keeps them stuck from their greatest thing in their life. 99.999%. And that other 0.001% that says, I don't have a mindset, I think they have a mindset about that too. There's a little something, there's a little voice that comes up that says, you can't do that. Who are you to think you can do that? That's that mindset. And I want to work with you as your mentor just for a few moments on your mindset. These are the most common mindsets I see with the people that I work with. The first one is this mindset, I can't have it all. I can't have 5 children. Where is that lady? Amazing woman. You got it all, sister. You don't have that mindset. You got it all. I can't have it all. If I have a great career, my family will suffer. If I do this, this means I can't have that. I can't have it all mindset. Another common one that I see all the time with women is, I can't get that promotion. I can't do that hard project. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough experience. I have to get a degree in this in order to do this thing. In order to be promoted in management, I need to go out and get an MBA. I don't have enough experience. Another common mindset that I see, and this is very common in Germany. How many of us are from Germany? Yeah. And you can tell me if this is the same in other countries in Europe. This avoiding jealousy mindset. And what do I mean by that? As women, we avoid saying, I did this great thing, because then other people are jealous. Neid is a big factor in Germany. That's the word for jealousy. Or we don't want to say we did this great thing or be proud of it because it might make somebody else look bad. There's this, I'm okay, you're not okay mindset. This is a very common one. I'm not going to go on to do great things because other people will be jealous of me and I won't fit into my peer group anymore. Another common mindset that I see, and this is probably most of us, I can't do that until it's perfect. This perfectionism mindset which holds you back from greatness. I can't do it till it's perfect. And what I want to ask you is to just think for a moment about your mindset. What is it of those, I'll leave it there so you can see the list again. Whoops. What is it from these mindsets that you recognize that might be holding you back? Maybe it's another one, but I want to hear from you. I want you to go to your iPhone again, or your smartphone, and I'm going to unlock this set. 1 second. Turn phones off. I want to hear what you think is your limiting mindset. Turn the phones on. And you can pick one. Which is the primary mindset that you think prevents you from having it all in your career and your life? And I want to talk about how we overcome those. Again, this is completely confidential. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds. Very interesting. Okay. I'm going to turn off the e-voting. And I want to show you what exists with your peers and our mindsets. The most common mindset that we as women in a male-dominated industry suffer from, and I had this same mindset, was I'm not experienced enough. I'm not experienced enough. I don't have a degree in that. I don't have the training in that. I'm not experienced enough. The second is I cannot have it all. Oh, perfectionism. Thank you. I'm standing at an angle. Perfectionism is the second one, followed closely by I can't have it all. I want to talk to you, just tell you a little bit of story from my experience about this topic, I'm not experienced enough. When I was working in the pharmaceutical industry in Texas for a global, huge international company with 15,000 people, I worked from project management, and then I moved into this deal closer position. And I was running around working with the two directors who were responsible for bringing in multi-million-Euro contracts. And I just kept trying harder and harder and harder. I was getting great results, but I was killing myself. I was trying to make a point and trying to make a point and trying to make a point with my supervisors until Bernie sat me down, one of my supervisors, and said, Renee, you just don't see yourself the way other people see you. You have the experience. You're doing it already. You need to this is where I first uncovered my mindset. He didn't use the word mindset, but you need to start seeing yourself the way other people see you. Let go of this constant chatter in your mind that says, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough experience. Let go of that and allow the space to exist that you see yourself as other people see you. I'm going to talk more about this perfectionism mindset in a few moments when I talk about taking imperfect action. But what I want to ask you, how many of you are leading teams? Yeah. Not only your mindset, but the mindset of your team members is extremely important to identify. That keeps them stuck in a lower performing mode in their job. What is the mindset of your team? What holds them back? So what I want to do with you is to do a little exercise. We say we have to release these limiting mindsets so that we can go on to doing something great. I want to do an exercise with you right now on how to release your limiting mindset. Take out that blank piece of paper that's sitting in your chair, please. And what I want you to do is on that blank piece of paper, I want you to write one sentence about your mindset. I don't think I'm good enough because I'm afraid to fail and I have to be perfect because. I want you to write that out. Write out your sentence. Completely confidential. I think I have to be perfect because I can't get promoted unless I have a degree. I think that because. And I do this in my workshops, and we take a long time when we write a whole page about it, but we don't have that long today. But does everybody have your sentence down? I can't do that because. How do we release our limiting mindsets? Because we keep saying, got to do this. Here's how you do it. First, you have to be aware of the program that's running, and that's what we just did. You were aware of it. You voted, you showed me what program's running in your mind. The second thing that you have to do when you're aware of it is you have to bring it from the subconscious part of your mind out into the physical world by writing it down. You just did that step. So you're already 2/3 of the way there from releasing this mindset. The third thing you have to do is tear that piece of paper up right now. You're not allowed to take that home. and put that under your chair. You're not allowed to hang on to it. You have to physically release that mindset. How did that feel? Fantastic. Give yourself a hand. I recommend that you do that exercise in more depth at home, and I recommend that you do that exercise with your teams, and you get rid of those mindsets. The first step to going on to greatness is getting rid of this baggage in your subconscious mind that's weighing you down. Congratulations, you took that first step. I did have the word the glass ceiling on that slide, didn't I? I added that last night. I want to talk just a minute about the glass ceiling, because I too fought my way to the top in a male-dominated industry. And I found out that a big part of that glass ceiling was in my mindset. A big part of that glass ceiling was all in my own head. Of course, there are different systems in place with different companies, but the part that you have control over is releasing this mindset that I can't get ahead because I'm a woman. You have to release that glass ceiling mindset. After we release our mindsets, I want to talk about a topic that keeps coming up, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. And it's the topic of how do we grow our self-confidence? We've released this mindset, but still don't feel so confident and amazing or unstoppable. The first thing I want to share with you is that I have my own personal success mantra. And anytime I go into a big meeting or I stand on the stage, and ladies, I'm in a male-dominated world again, I stand on the big stage in Germany with the top men speaker as the only woman that stands on the big stage, and I do keynotes in German for thousands of people. And before I do that, every time before I go on the stage, and even before I came on this stage, I practiced my success mantra. And it goes like this. A success mantra is something you say over and over to yourself so that your subconscious mind hears it, yeah? That helps you to be successful. Every time, here is my success mantra, and I'm going to let you borrow it until you develop your own. Here it is. This is going to be great. They're going to love it. This is going to be great. They're going to love it. I want you to say it with me. This is going to be great. They're going to love it. And I heard somebody start to say a success mantra yesterday. I forget if it was Sam or it was in a panel discussion. They said, this could be really big. No, ladies, stop that. That's playing small. This is going to be great. They are going to love it. Write that down. Use that until you have your own. Here's why you need a success mantra. Here's how the world, the universe, the energy, your brain works. Whatever you focus on becomes a reality. If you focus on, oh my God, I'm scared, this is going to be terrible, I'm afraid of making a mistake, you're going to make a mistake. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on, this is going to be great, they're going to love it, you know what? It's going to be great and they're going to love it. And your self-confidence will grow. The second thing is I have a success anchor. And an anchor is something I physically carry around with me in my pocket at those moments that I need it. For me, it was, and it's in my purse today, I had to sign really big contracts in my other company for millions and millions of euros. I have an Indian rupee shine that says 1 million euros on it. Yeah, I carry it in my purse. A success anchor is something that you take with you that helps you and you put your hand on it, and you know that you've already achieved that goal. When I have that 1 million euros in my pocket and I'm negotiating for a big contract in the past, I felt what it felt like to have already achieved that goal. And when I felt that, my confidence would grow. And when my confidence would grow, my business partner who I was negotiating with had more confidence in me. A success anchor. And you know what? This little button, there are tens of thousands of people around the world that this little button, I'm unstoppable, is their success anchor. Take it with you. Put it next to your computer and know that you're unstoppable. The third thing, and I discovered this sort of by accident, when I was working to climb the career ladder and the competitiveness and da-da-da-da, and somebody said it earlier today in the last panel session about being authentic in a male-dominated world. It's extremely important, but I go one step further than being authentic. I act out of love. Everything I do is because I love the people I'm doing it for. I love you guys. My heart is open to helping you. I love you guys. Everything I do is out of love. And if you act out of love, you'll be much more successful more quickly rather than trying to figure out how to be more competitive. Do it out of love. That's what I want to say about growing your self-confidence. The next topic that I want to talk about, we're moving from this topic of mindset to this topic of finding your zone of genius. Everybody has a zone of genius, and we have to identify that, and we're going to do that here now. And we have to work in that zone of genius. What is your zone of genius? Everything we do, every activity that we do, everything that we do in our daily life belongs to one of the following 4 categories. The first is our zone of incompetence. And the zone of incompetence is made up of all of those activities that you are terrible at doing. I have to say, for me, it has things that are related to IT. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with things related to IT. And when I try to do those things like fix my printer, install this, I get angry and frustrated, and it steals my energy. Rule number 1, successful people don't spend time in their zone of incompetence. We outsource those activities. The second area is your zone of competence, and that's made up of activities that you do that other people do also really well, probably better than you. We're not going to talk about that. What I want to talk about with you is this area or zone of excellence and the zone of genius. The problem is almost everyone that I've worked with around the world is working in their zone of excellence. And the problem with the zone of excellence is you never reach your full potential. You never achieve your zone of genius. Your zone of excellence is made up of activities that you do really well. You make a fantastic leader. You're leading successful teams. You're making cool stuff in the world. Your zone of excellence. Your zone of genius, and everyone in this room has one, is made up of the activities that you are uniquely suited to do. Your zone of excellence, your zone of genius, is made up of activities that when you do them, time stands still. Most of us spend about 2% of our time in our zone of genius because we're too busy doing things in our zone of excellence. Your zone of genius is made up of those activities that you were born to do. Every single person has one. And because we're engineers, I codified it in a mathematical formula for you. I thought you'd like this. Your zone of genius is made up of your talent plus your passion plus your purpose. That's your zone of genius. And yes, you can have more than one zone of genius. You can have a mom zone of genius and a work zone of genius. And to be your biggest success in a male-dominated industry, ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple gentlemen here too, you got to find your zone of genius. You see, 99.9% of our DNA is just like everybody else's. It's this one little tiny percent that's your zone of genius. What is it? What is it? What is it that your customers, your colleagues say about you that you're so good at? You, Jennifer, you are so good at that. When you do that, it is excellent. What do other people say that you're good about? In Germany, when I work with ladies on this topic and I say, what are you the expert at? What is it in your zone of genius that you're the expert at? And then starts these little mindsets. I'm kind of the expert at that. What is it that you're the best at doing? And if you have a hard time thinking of what that is, because I said, what is it that you're best at doing? What is it that you're maybe one of the top people at doing? What is it that you're the best at doing? I am the expert at. Why is it important to know that? This is your zone of genius. This is where you get the most satisfaction in your job. And you need to bring that expertise and that zone of genius to your job. What is it that you're the expert at in your career? And I want you to step up and borrow my confidence, and I want you to think right now, what is the thing that you are the best at doing in your job, in your career? What is the thing? Everybody got that word? Because I'm going to ask you to enter it in the e-voting. What is it, the thing that you could stand up to me when I meet you at the door and say, what is it, Melanie, that you're the best at doing? I want to hear it. I'm going to turn on the e-voting system, and I want you to bring that word into the e-voting system. Turning on the phones now. You can enter one word. Try to make it into one word. I am the best at. And please, ladies, don't just write engineering. Please. What is that thing that you claim as your own? I am the expert at. When I do this, I'm in the flow. Time stands still. Actually, don't want to present. Oh, I'm not presenting yet. Good. I am the expert at. Okay? Lots of good stuff coming out. Okay, ready? I'm going to turn the phones off. And I'm going to send these around to you, too, if you give me your business card. Where's that business card bucket that's going around? Did it make it through the crowd? Super. Okay, my secretary has a lot of work to do next week. Turn this off. Turn it on. I am the expert at leading, solving problems, driving, listening, communicating. Those were the most common answers in this group. There's a lot of other interesting ones. Storytelling. Who's the storyteller expert? All right. Fantastic. I am the expert at. Why is it important to be clear about what we are the expert at? Your success after releasing those limiting mindsets is about your clarity. Because you personally teach people around you in your career and on the job what to think about you. You teach them what to think about you. You teach them what to think about you by what you say about yourself, the way you act, and the way you deliver your results. You teach people what to think about you. Now that we're clear on what you're the expert at, I want you, when you go back into your job, to start communicating that. I am the expert at problem solving. I'm the expert at. You teach people what to think about you. And your future starts with this clarity. Clarity about what you communicate about you. You know what? The more you say it, the more you communicate about you, what you're the expert at, the more people start to believe it. You have to take responsibility and get clarity for that. And I loved this panel discussion yesterday where Jennifer, who, in my opinion, asked the question of the meeting, why is it that I get mentored like a girl and the guys get mentored like a guy about business and I get mentored about self-confidence? Why is that? And I had a wonderful chance to talk to Jennifer about my advice on that topic. One of the answers was that mentors mentor you on what you ask for. That means you have to get clear about where you're going. You have to communicate to your mentor, I want to be in management in 5 years. I want to be a director in 5 years. Help me with the steps to get there. If you're not clear, they're not going to be able to help you with that. Say where you want to be and then go there. And you know what I find is interesting all the time with women is that amazing things happen when we, thirsty. When we release those limiting mindsets, I'm going to make this as a little visual for you so you could remember it. When you release those limiting mindsets, you'll surprise yourself at the things that you can do. You'll be able to do amazing things. If I can find the water, it's supposed to be in here. It's gone. It's completely gone. If you release that limiting mindset and you step into your zone of genius, you find your passion. You find your creativity. You find your leadership. And you make the world a brighter place. Thank you. Release those limiting mindsets and find the colors in your life. Okay? The next thing I want to talk about, and this was coming out from yesterday, is nobody told me this. After releasing your mindsets and finding your zone of genius and working in there, it's your results that get you to the top. It's your results. It's not your job function. I'm a programmer. I'm a project manager. It's your results. What do I mean by results? What I just told you was a tool, project managing programming. Your result is project managing a project to success so that the company makes more money, so that they use less resources. Your results, you have to communicate your results. How do I find out what results I'm supposed to do? Ask your supervisor. Get clear on the results that they need and deliver those results. It's your results. And I hear a lot of women that say, you know what? I'm just in a department. I don't make much of a difference. I spilled some water up here. I don't make much of a difference. And I hear a lot of women that act like reactors. In order to be a success, you have to be a creator. And what I want you to notice on these two cards, the two words reactor and creator. Both words are made up of exactly the same letters. C-R-E-A-T-O-R. It's in the same letters that are in the word reactor. Both words are made up of exactly the same letters, but have exactly different outcomes. When you're reacting on the job, it means you're not in control of your outcomes. You're not working towards results. You're just reacting to what's coming along. That's not the key to success. The key to success is to create your own outcome. Look for opportunities to be a creator. And when you're a creator, you'll find that you're not a reactor anymore. It's impossible. But just as these two cards are the exact same size, you have equal choice to create your outcomes in your job. So take control of your own outcomes. And I've got just a couple more points, and this is a very important one. This is what stops most people from going on to greatness, and it's about taking action. Ladies, you've got a great idea. You've got a great idea on how to move something forward. Move it forward imperfectly. When I die, I'm sure my tombstone will say, Renee, imperfect action more. Because everything I do is imperfect action. This is what separates the super successful people from the people who are stuck. Perfectionism doesn't get you anywhere. Taking imperfect action gets you somewhere. What do I mean by imperfect action? It means going forward with your idea when it's good enough. It means going forward with a little tiny imperfect action step. And if that wasn't the right step, you will soon know it, and you can take a step to the left. And then, ladies, one more imperfect action step forward. That's how you get results, is taking action. And you know what? This is called the science of motivation. When you take that first step towards your goal, when you take that first imperfect action step, you get a dopamine reward in your brain. And we say, I'm getting momentum, I'm feeling better. It's not just a feeling, it's a biochemical change in your brain. You're a different person when you take action. You have more self-confidence. You're a different person. Take imperfect action. Okay, Renee, I'm supposed to take action. I'm a mother of 5 children, 5. And I don't know which step to take first in my career. Which step do I take first? I have an email inbox full of thousands of emails. I have 5 children. I've got to launch a project. I've got all this stuff going on. How do I know which action to take? There's not enough room for me to be that mother, go to those home football games, launch that project, when I focus on all the little tiny stuff. My life's too full. So this is a visual to help you remember that you have to prioritize. You have to simply put the big rocks in first. Don't start with email in the morning. Key to my success, I do email at lunch. You got to get clear about where you're going. That's the first rock. Then you've got to break those goals down into what exact steps do I have to take for the next 30 days? What are the exact steps I have to take for the next 60 days? And be specific. By this date, I need to do that. By that date, I need to do that. Be specific with your next steps. And when you put the big rocks in first, you'll find that there's room for WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, 1,000 emails, spam mails, a few spam mails. It all fits. You just have to prioritize. Things fit into your life when you put the big rocks in first. To be successful, prioritize what's most important to you. 2 more thoughts I want to leave with you. And the topic of authenticity came up today. That's why I named this keynote, Business is a Boys Club, Getting to the Top in High Heels. I'm on the big stage all over the world, and you will never see me in a pair of pants. I'm always me. I'm always wearing a dress, and some of the keynote speaker women in Germany say, "Oh my God, I wouldn't want to wear a dress on stage. The men would look at my legs." And I say, "Yeah, isn't it great?" I'm me, and I am me, and I'm this purple fish in my industry. I was always the purple fish. I was always authentic and me, and the secret to getting ahead is to be authentic and be the one that's different. And this topic came up several times in different panel discussions and seminars about fake it till you make it. Sam, are you here? She left, okay. Fake it until you make it. I use a similar strategy, but I call it be the person you want to become. Be the person. How do I do that, Renee? How do I be the person I want to become? I want to be the vice president of the company. I want to do this. How do I be that? We're going to start the first step on that journey right now together. I want you to sit up straight and put both feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your lap. Sit down. I love it. Come up here and do it with me. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Sit up straight, put your hands on your lap, close your eyes. Be the person you want to become. I'm going to put some music on. Might have to turn the volume down. Oops. Okay. Not. Close your eyes. Feel your feet planted firmly on the ground. Your feet are anchored firmly on the ground. Close your eyes, no talking. Feet are firmly on the ground. Feel the ground and the stability of this room beneath your feet. Sit up straight, eyes closed. Feel the connection from the top of your head to the universe, the infinite source of wisdom in your life. Feel your body in this room and the space in between. You're connected to the heaven, you're connected to the earth, and you're this amazingly powerful being sitting in this room today. Today, I want you to look forward 1 year from now. 1 year from now, it is May 2018. And I want you to see your amazing, successful, unstoppable self 1 year in the future. You've released your limiting mindsets. You're working in your zone of genius. You're talking about your results. You're happy. Look at the smile on your face. I want you to see you next year in May, and I want you to see the smile on your face. You're surrounded by a happy team. You're surrounded by a happy family. The launch is successful. The home games were a lot of fun. You're surrounded by people who love you and they're happy, and you have accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish this last year. See the smile on your face, see the twinkle in your eyes. See the smile on the faces of the people around you. That's you. That's you 1 year from today. And when you get ready, I want you to open your eyes and come back into this room. And I want you to know that person that you saw 12 months from now is you. It's that same person that's sitting in this room. Be that person that you want to become. It's already here. Be that person. And I want to leave you with one last story. Could I get someone to help me with the flip chart? Somehow my keynote closed. And this will have tone. Yeah. Thank you. You guys are beautiful. Okay. I brought a story, and I actually brought my life in the form of a puzzle. And this isn't just my life, this is everybody's life. It's your life too. Our lives are made up of all types of complex pieces. And there's a lot of gaps in the space in between these pieces. And we work really hard to bring these pieces together. We go to the university, we get a degree. We get a job working for John Deere. We get married, or we don't. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody got more than 5 kids? Wow. We have children, or we don't. But we work really hard to bring all of these pieces of our life together. And the frame of your life is strong and it's sturdy, and it's determined by you. You determine the frame that you put around your life with your mindsets, with the way you go through your life. And the frame that you create for your life fits perfectly around the pieces, and the pieces fit perfectly within it. Can you hold this for me, Anka? I need it in a minute. Thank you. But the truth is, our lives are made up of a lot of different pieces. This piece, this is my family and my friends. They hold me accountable for reaching my goals and my dreams. This piece, this is my dreams and my aspirations. Very important piece to me. This piece is my health and how I take care of myself. This big piece, that's my leadership and how I decide to create my life. This piece, well, that's a secret. Something I hold sacred for myself. Bet you have one of those too. And we work really hard to keep all the pieces together. And we're going along in life, and life is going well. until this happens. Something comes along in our life, an unexpected surprise, a setback, a failure, something that we don't exactly see the value of, and it breaks the pieces apart. Sometimes it feels like it's the end of the world, but most of the time we get busy rearranging our life, moving the pieces around, seeing what we can do, how we rearrange things, and we find that if we're successful, that this piece, we can integrate it into our life. But that's not all. There's also this. A piece double so big in size. These are your wins. These are your successes. These are the happy moments in your life. Double so big in size as the failures and the challenges. But they have to find their space in our life too. So we get busy incorporating these successes, growing in our life, and rearranging the pieces. And we find that there's space for the successes too. And that's not the magic part. The magic part is, no matter how many successes and failures you have in your life, the frame that you give your life will fit perfectly around it. Thank you very much. I wish you much success in your life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.